It's my feel-good breakfast show.
All right, welcome back. It is a Monday morning and time of the morning where we discuss all of those juicy things with regards to relationships. Because most people believe that you should never mix business with pleasure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, no matter how much you try not to do that, you can't help but falling in love with someone at work.
That's right. Well, do you have feelings for a co-worker? We'd love to hear from you. Or have you ever been in a relationship with one of your colleagues? Our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, is with us this morning in the building to answer your burning questions. So please do give us a call. Our number is 021 430 9881.
All right, Dr. Eve, welcome to you. You're looking ever so splendid.
Very casual today.
Yes. But no, I'm not making any advances that way. There's a strict line, Dr.
There's
Eve,
a strict line.
because we're separating professionalism and camaraderie. How important is it to do that at the office, Dr.
I'm just laughing because when you say we shouldn't have business and pleasure together, for a lot of people like me, business is pleasure. So you go into, lucky I don't work with anyone. Except I have a shop full of sex toys, which is, different business. Marita does. It's a ridiculous notion to imagine that you can separate business from pleasure. If you think about the business environment and you all working in it in a very intimate, closed, confined space, like most people who are watching us, most people work in an office environment, and the very nature of that environment lends itself to enormous amount of intimacy. So what is intimacy? Intimacy is about personal disclosure. When you are working in a place, which I really hope everybody is, which means that they have pleasure where they work, they like to talk about what they do. They have shared values and they have things in common. And so what intimacy is talking about things and disclosing things that are important to you and your values and your thoughts and your opinions around things. So the business space is one in which intimacy is almost encouraged. It's kind of a fait accompli that you gain to be very intimate with people that you work with. And what our challenge is for everybody who does work in a professional environment is to be able to put up really strict boundaries. How do we do that? And sometimes those boundaries can be very blurred, and really who is blurring those boundaries? And how do we manage those blurry boundaries? Because there is always a sense of, I am attracted to this person because I admire this person, or because the things that this person can give me, or the advances that I can get from this person, they're present. Also, we spend a huge amount of time in our working environment. And so with time, you also become very familiar with people that you're working with. So automatically, you're going to be sharing more with them than you might even with the partner that you have back home or your friends that you have. So all of those things combined together, the familiarity, the sense of shared opinions, and the timing leads to this intimacy, which is going to make unprofessional conduct very possible.
Okay. Well, we're going to have more with Dr. Eve. I also want to know from Dr. Eve when we get back, should you confess your feelings to that that co-worker of yours, but we'll get more with Dr. Eve. So if you've got a comment or a question, give us a call, 021 430 9881. Dr. Eve is here to answer your questions.
I feel good breakfast show.
So while Dr. Eve is learning all about Instagram, we are learning all about how to handle those confronting feelings of intimacy in the office. Should you be taking these things seriously? And we also open up our lines on 021 430 9881. A very, very important topic that we're discussing. So Dr. Eve, if you feel yourself having some kind of attraction to a co-worker...
Catching feelings.
Catching feelings. Yo,
Yes.
Dr. Eve with that swag. How seriously should you be taking it?
You should be taking it seriously because it can be enormously distracting to your productivity and also to your home life. Whether you're single, whether you're in a relationship with somebody, it can be very disturbing. It can be very exciting in the beginning because you're actually going to work and you're going to be having this added level of hyper-arousal, knowing that this person is around and you're going to have a lot of contact with this person. But it's very distracting and, as I say, unproductive. So the question is, how do you deal with it? Because let's not be naive. It happens in every single environment. People feel an attraction to each other. There's always somebody you're going to feel a little level of attraction to. How do you contain? How emotionally regulated are you? Because there are massive fallouts to that beginning to happen if you are in the workplace. And so one does have to deal with it. You can't just ignore it and pretend that it's not happening. And the question is how,
Yeah. Well,
how
I
do you
was going
deal
to ask,
with it?
does that mean, do you tell the person you now have feelings for them, or is that...
I mean, generally in life, if there isn't reciprocation and people can feel that, you don't really have to go to someone and say, I've caught some feelings for you. But I do think, I do agree with you, though, that in that environment, because it's so anathema, you're not supposed to be catching feelings, I think it does have to be discussed in quite a strategic manner over the coffee table or else over your WhatsApp messenger that, what do we do with this? Because actually I'm attracted to you, or I'm feeling uncomfortable around you or too comfortable around you. People usually would then go online to talk about it because people don't really stand around a water, what do you call it, a
Cooler.
coffee? Thank you.
The
A water
water
cooler anymore. I mean, do you still do that?
No.
Those days are gone.
they've
You do
evacuated
have
that.
to talk about it because of the impact that it can have on you personally and on your company.
So then what do you do if you now have placed yourself in that
Yeah.
situation of uyang tandana and you're staring across this person at the
Yes.
coffee table and you say, listen, I think I might be catching feelings, or I think I'm attracted to you, and this person does not reciprocate those feelings. How do you deal with the disappointment, and how do you deal with how it affects you emotionally at the office?
Yeah, I said the biggest thing is how does it affect your working when you go back to work the next day? How do you actually deal with it? You just really have to suck it up and put on your big girl panties and say, this is something which is not going to be happening in this workplace environment. But is it then, because what happens then, there can be consequences, and this happens, where you then find reasons to report this person or turn against this person or find fault with their work, and
Oh, my word.
and then it can become quite a big thing with called revenge. You don't like me, I feel really wounded, and I'm going to do something about that, which could
Sure.
affect your work situation as well. And then we turned into a harassment situation where I have been rejected, I'm going to get some revenge on you, and it's way more dangerous in your workplace than just in your everyday life where you can just ghost this person.
Well, I would also love to know from Dr. Eve, let's say the feeling is mutual. We'll chat to Dr. Eve that a little bit later on how to take the business part away from things. But give us a call, 021 430 9881.
It's my feel good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on
getting hot in
SABC3.
here.
Guys,
We're
listen,
getting so caught up
listen.
into conversations. Dr. Eve with us. Remember, our lines are open, 021 430 9881. Now, we have Anonymous on the line. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. What's your comment or question for Dr. Eve?
I have been involved actually in an office romance, and we've been together for 4 years now. And it's been quite a ride and a journey, because at first we had to hide the relationship, but eventually people could tell that there was something going on, because I would blush whenever he passes me, or he would drop a pen or something, or he would make an excuse to come to my desk and talk to me. So we decided to keep the relationship open and let people know that we are dating, and it's been great ever since 4 years, and it's still going strong.
Are you
He's
guys
the
still,
one.
Well, I want to know, are you guys still at the same company?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
So clearly office romance might not be a problem in that context, and I think they went around quite nicely making it work.
It
was
sounds like it.
Quite a romantic situation. Have there been any massive challenges, Anonymous, in regards to your work situation? For instance, we were talking about the possibility of having, let's say, an argument at home and it spilling over into the office space.
Yes, there has been instances where it's been difficult, more especially when a male colleague probably gets too close to me. You would feel the uncomfortability with him. You could sense that he is not okay, and he would start acting funny in the office, and all of a sudden you have to walk out and start talking so that you try and resolve and tell him that, no, we're just talking about work. It's nothing sexual or anything. Because now he thinks that if you're involved with him in an office environment, you could do it with anyone else. In the beginning, it's like that.
Wow, that's
wow.
Can I
Just-
ask
yeah, I
one
mean,
more
that-
question?
Of course.
I want to know, how did you, because obviously the feeling was mutual between the two of you, how did you now take your office romance outside?
Firstly, our friends, we got our friends involved. So we got to meet a lot outside of the workplace. That's how it started, to get to know each other more outside of the work office. But when we got inside, we would still keep it professional, but have that intimate moment, those 2 seconds where you just, smile at each other or wink when he passes. So it hasn't affected anything at all.
Thank you for sharing
It seems like Anonymous has figured it out. That's the recipe to making it work.
I don't know, there's this underlying complexities that I'm hearing here, Kat.
Please tell. What are you noticing, Dr. Eve?
I'm noticing that their relationship has dynamics, as every relationship does. So he's got some jealousy issues. And so he's watching her. I think it must be quite difficult for him that he's watching her interacting with other people. And then in the moment, he's questioning her. And as she says, we've got to go outside and talk about it. I would say to you that you really need to be containing that. You both need to be containing that and keeping that for home, because it can be very disruptive to her work environment if he's going to be taking her out every time she talks to another colleague. Or I find it quite invasive of her privacy, that he's so insecure and that he's going to be wanting to check in what is she talking to every other male colleague about. So go and do some cleaning up of your own relationship jealousy issues.
Okay, all right. We were talking about something, and Anonymous, thank you so much for your call and sharing your
absolutely.
success
Pleasure.
story.
Thank you.
It's wonderful. What happens when you feel the person you've confessed your feelings to and did not necessarily reciprocate those feelings is doing something to sabotage your work, because now they feel like they've been hard done by? You know, why didn't you like me back? Now because I'm a manager or something like that, I'm going to make your work life difficult. Who do you speak to?
Yeah, so you're going to be able, you have to, in a company, of course, if there's HR, you do want to go to HR and to talk about it, but it may not be an easy thing. It's easy for me to say, go and talk to it and follow the company policies or procedures, go and talk to HR, which should happen. But there is something that happens to people who become harassed, and they begin to feel very, very threatened, and they feel insecure and they feel afraid. And so they may stay silent for a long time while the so-called harassment is going on and this person is practicing revenge or punishment towards this person. And the more you keep silent, the more you begin to think this is just about me, or I'm so alone, or I want to resign, I got to get out of here. And my advice is, if you are being bullied or you are being harassed by somebody who you have let go, or you have turned down or rejected their offers of love or sex, please talk to the boss. Please take a chance and talk to the boss. People are protected. There are laws in place in our country today. We do not want people to be harassed at work. And you are allowed to reject somebody at work, even if you've fallen out of love with them. You're entitled to still be working and protect your rights.
Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Eve. We're going to have more with Dr. Eve on this topic. Our phone lines are 021 430 9881.
Feel Good Breakfast Show.
And of course, as we continue with our relationship talk, I'm glad and proud to announce that Dr. Eve has successfully made her first Instagram post. This is amazing.
How to explain the difference between a tag and a hashtag?
Follow me. Thank you, Zoe, for the quick lesson.
We do have a caller on the line. We're talking about office romances this morning. Anonymous, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, panel.
Thank you so much for giving us a call. What's your question or comment?
I just want to say I have been in two affairs, and whilst they're very exciting and that type of thing, it's not really worth it. It causes a lot of heartache and ill feeling, and one wants to make it permanent, the other one doesn't, and especially when there's small kids involved, it's disastrous.
Okay.
Anonymous, you used the word affairs. Does that mean that either one of you were married at the time when you began the office romance?
Both were, yes, and we both had small children, so it wasn't really the ideal thing to do, but unfortunately these things happen, and I'm not proud of it, and I'm sure he's not, but and it does cause heartache.
It does cause heartache.
Yes.
Question for you: when you began to fall in love or have this office romance, did you feel as if you could actually take it out of the office? Did you try to? Because a lot of people find that once they move out of that contained office la-la land space into the real world, that it's really different. Did you find that the transition was different?
Not well. You know what? Unfortunately, it did spill out into parties and into all the things that happen, and it became much more social than anybody really wanted it to. And therein also lies more problems. So it's just not. It's very tempting. It's very exciting, and I find guys in management. Let me not generalize, but a lot of people just use their positions to also, further a relationship, and of course you are a bit starstruck, and unfortunately it's not the thing to do.
Thank you so much, Anonymous.
Also, I just wonder if it had consequences to your working environment. I'm sure it has
Yes.
to. That,
Yes.
did you stay in the same company or did you have to leave?
He had to leave.
He had to leave.
Yes, he then started his own business, but basically he did have to leave. He was pushed out by head office.
Well, enormous complications.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your
Yeah,
story with us, Anonymous. And
absolutely.
Dr. Eve, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for doing the Instagram.
Oh, yes, we can now.
Yes.
What's your Instagram handle?
Dr. Eve, something.
Dr.
Dr. Eve. Just go look for Dr. Eve, Twitter and Instagram.
Hopefully you'll have some
Seriously.
interesting posts for us to double click on. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.